Welcome in to the Get Your Happy On Hour, featuring former Husker receiver Ricky Simmons.
Hey, welcome to the Get Your Happy On Hour. I'm your host, Ricky Steve Simmons. This is 93.7 The Ticket. Man, I always start my show out with a big shout out to Waverly, Nebraska. There's a company out there called Empire Fencing. Those people are awesome. Really he likes to go by founder. So, Matt Warner, big shout out to you and your company, man. I think you guys are doing beautiful things. And just know that I appreciate all the support. Man, I got to be real honest with y'all. Tonight's show is going to be super fast, so you might want to put your seatbelt on because we're going to take off here in a minute. But I just got to say a couple things before I get to my guest because I'm excited about this young man. I mean, no offense, but a lot of people will look at life in a way that I refuse to because I've already been there and done that. But I also want to make sure that people understand that adversity, controversy, negativity, it's a list of things that are going to be a part of this thing called life. But how we deal with them is very important. And tonight I got a guy. I call him a young man because he is a young man. But I got a guy tonight that has been through some ups and some downs and is on the upswing again. And that's kind of the way this show will probably go. So, Elliot, welcome to the show, man.
Hey, thank you for having me, Ricky.
No,
I'm excited to be here.
I appreciate you. This guy's got some energy too. I want y'all to know that. So if we get a little hyped up in here, don't think we've had too many cups of coffee. We're only drinking spring water, so we're good.
Hey, it's Sunday night, but we're getting the energy up. So starting the week strong, right?
Hey, well, Elliot, let's let the audience know who you are first before we get into what you do. Tell us where you're from, man.
Yeah, so Elliot Applegate. I am born and raised in Lincoln, Nebraska myself. I went to Southeast High School, stuck around, went to the University of Nebraska, studied business, got a degree from there, and then just couldn't get out of this beautiful town. So
okay.
I love it here.
So you at home.
Still at home, yes.
That's
absolutely.
Cool. Now, I was just sitting there thinking when we were talking before the show, you know, I got to give a big shout out before I get started to Emma Spence because that's who made the introduction, man.
Yes.
And she told me she was going to be tuning in tonight. So I hope you're listening, Emma. Thanks again for this plug. It means a lot to me. And you keep doing big things as well. But Elliot, I got to ask, man, has life always been perfect for you?
That's an easy one. No. No, it has not. No. Well, it has always been beautiful. It has not always been perfect.
Now,
I can say that strongly.
You said something earlier about some of the adversity you had to face in life. Can you share some of that with us?
Yeah, absolutely. I think one of the things that I've really, in the last few years, come to terms with and accepted is a lot of adversity. And generally understanding that what we've been through and good, bad, ugly, all that really builds our story and builds who we are now. So growing up, I grew up in a house full of love. I had teachers and coaches for parents. Shout out mom. Rest in peace to my father. I'll talk a little bit more about that here a little bit. But my parents were victims of the '08 housing crisis. And so at a time in my life where about 2010, I was getting into the high school age, starting to come to maturity, I found myself kind of putting myself in a shell. And basically, long story short, found myself masking, people pleasing, and really creating a life that I thought I was supposed to do. And as I got through college and through some more of those life experiences, started to notice that I wasn't really true to my authentic self. And so I wouldn't say I necessarily went through anything that was heavily traumatic to that degree that some people think of when it comes to the worst moments of our life. But it was more of a compound of personal self-esteem issues or things that I wasn't sharing with anyone that created an image of myself that wasn't true. And so I like to explain to people that it was more about what I wasn't sharing and who I wasn't being that held me down a little bit. And then through the last probably 5-6 years now, I've worked on trying to come back to myself, understanding what I want out of life, what I'm supposed to do, what I'm here for, as opposed to what other people thought it was or what I thought it was supposed to be based on what success looked like from a financial standpoint or love or whatever it might be. And starting to learn that other people's stories or their story And like you and I have talked about plenty already, that I had to rewrite my own story and kind of start from scratch. And that was at, I mean, mid 20s as someone who thought he knew what he was doing. And now is kind of deciding to change that path and go a little bit different direction.
That's a real tough sell for people at a young age. And I don't mean that in a negative way. What I am saying is, let's just say in teenage years, you're trying to make sure that everybody's happy and you want to fit in. That adjustment that you had to make, because if I remember correctly, you had to go through some pretty tough times.
Yes. Yeah. And it were tough times. I mean, where dollars were short, where I grew up with times where maybe the water didn't run hot. Maybe the water didn't run at all. Having to go to the YMCA to get in the shower. And I mean, it was stuff as simple as like a cell phone in the high school age, where the ability to communicate with friends or family, or to be able to go on certain trips or do certain things that maybe I was capable of, but I'd already told myself I wasn't. So one of the things that I talk about is like, you think of travel sports and club ball and some of the things that kids go through, where I maybe saw a certain picture of my life and what it looked like, where I just told myself it wasn't possible. So I use sports as an example because I didn't go pursue athletics in college. I was a fantastic swimmer in high school, should have kind of pursued that. But at the time, NIL didn't exist. No one was paying swimmers to do anything like that. And going out of state was so expensive that I just basically talked myself down into the idea of not wanting that, not wanting to pursue that. So I found that the same thing happened with life, with different careers or jobs or goals, to where I kind of gave up on myself to a sense, because I'd already started with the idea that it wasn't possible. So trying to remove that, and some of the difficulties and those struggles, to where I had told myself like, that's just, it is what it is. And instead of understanding so much of what we've already discussed of positivity and that mindset, and if you believe something's possible, you can go make it possible regardless of the circumstances or what you've been through or where you started, like putting that healthy face on and putting that positivity first, and understanding that all of these different trials and tribulations lead to the story that we get to create later. So
right.
That's the part that, like, now I'm sitting in whatever struggles I'd been through, whether it was financial, family, loss, and grief, and I'm seeing how much good can come out of everything. And just from a day to day, like just the opportunities, the people I've gotten to meet, the difference that story got me to where we got to connect, and I got to learn about you and what you have been through, and just the differences in each of our stories, and whether it's a different cultural background, money and upbringing, where you're from, literally geographically, like we all go through so many different things. It's easy to look at those 1, 2, 3 struggles where maybe it's a little portion of that life, and hold on to that as something to latch onto in a negative sense, or build off of the negativity that happened when you were 12 or 13, stick with it into your 30s, 40s, 50s. And all of a sudden you've created a life that you think is all that is for you, when that mindset shift or that ability to connect with someone else and hear their story could make such a difference early.
I agree with that. I couldn't agree with that anymore. But, the thing about that too, though, is I got all these Ricky-isms. And when it comes to the negativity piece, one of my biggest Ricky-isms is if you don't feed it, it can't grow. And what I mean by that is, if someone around you has been negative, I'm just using this for a hypothetical. If someone's being negative, hey man, they got that right. But I got the right to ask for 50 feet too. I just can't. I don't like the way that negativity makes me feel on the inside.
Yeah.
So I work extremely hard at being positive. And sometimes that may come across negatively to other people, because it makes me kind of go with, I guess the latest term is I go dark, but that's not against anyone else. That's just what I have to do to refocus. Because even as hard as I work at being positive, there's still some days that I have to check myself. And in order for me to check myself, I have to shut everybody else out.
Yes.
And that's what works for me. Now, everyone has to find their own way, but I just really cherish peace. And I guess a lot of that's because of the things that I put myself through. I made some choices earlier in life that I don't wish on anyone. That's partially that's part of the reason why I go out and speak.
Yeah.
Because and that's something I know that you want to do more of. And I'm excited to know that there's not just me that likes doing this, because lifting others up has a reward to it that's not just so-called financial.
Mm-hmm.
Now, don't get me wrong. I understand the importance of finances. I mean, but the inner feeling that I get from encouraging others to do
Mm-hmm.
better or to look at something a little different, I mean, it's hard to put a price on that.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm very, very excited about what you're going to do in the speaking field because I like your motives.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we've discussed your motives, and I think your motives are great when
Thank
it
you.
comes to wanting to be a speaker. Because if you're going to go out and speak to kids and you're only looking at it from a financial standpoint,
Mm-hmm.
I I don't know if that's going to really work out well for you.
Yeah.
You know,
For anybody. Yeah.
yeah. Well, I'm just saying, man, because you know you never know people's financial situation. I mean, money can get tight.
Mm-hmm.
So if there's no money to support what you're doing or what you love doing, does that mean you don't do it no more?
You know, I completely hear where you're coming from. And I think that's the coolest thing, that you and I both share that same passion for the message is deeper than any financial aspect. So I learned early and often that money will come and go. And
Right.
whether you've got all the money in the bank or nothing in the bank, there are ways to find peace and to find love and to find success and happiness day to day. Like you
Right.
can have nothing in the bank and still have loved ones and still have those relationships and those conversations. And for me, the ability to see that at an early age and understand that money wasn't the powerful tool that a lot of people give it so much credit for. It
Mhm.
carries a lot of weight, and there's a lot that has to do with money in this world still. But if you can come to an inner peace, and if you can come to that mental strength of understanding that it's not the only thing, and then if you can get anyone else to hear that,
Right.
that message resides deeply. So especially in the speaking aspect of, like, we know a lot of the places where those conversations and those messages are needed are where the money's not there. You
Right.
get your inner city schools, you get kids who've struggled, and you get teachers who are already, they're paying out of their own pocket to bring markers and stuff like that to school
Right.
themselves.
Right. Right.
You can't go into those places expecting them to throw a bunch of cash at you, but you can expect to find someone who needs that message.
Yes.
And so I think that's where we have both kind of found that same pursuit of the message itself is the
Yes.
key. And if one person hears this tonight, if one person gets onto this show and they hadn't heard you speak or hadn't heard me speak, and if they can get something that helps them find another reason to live a good day, find another reason to find joy and to find happiness tomorrow, that's a win. And that's just as important as any amount of dollars you can give me.
I totally agree. Like I said, I never want to give the impression that I'm naive because I know that you know, financial is important because, example, another one of my hypotheticals, I don't think my cell phone carrier will be okay with the fact that I love to speak, but I can't afford to pay my bill.
Yep.
You know,
Yep.
so I don't think they'll let my service continue without me paying a
Completely.
bill. So I do understand the value, but what I'm trying to say, and I think what we're both saying is we love what we do.
Mhm.
And sometimes just loving what being able to do what you love is a blessing within itself.
Yes.
Because a lot of times, man, I mean, and I know some people, I won't call their names, but I know some people that they dread Mondays
Mm-hmm.
because, man, I got to go to this job, or man, I got to go deal with this person at this job that I don't really care for. I don't like this supervisor. I don't like whatever. And I understand that. I mean, that's to me, I can only imagine what that's like.
Well, and that's, I think one of the blessings for me was I figured that out early within a corporate structure. I knew that I'm not built to be a corporate employee. I didn't want someone telling me what to do. I didn't want a boss. I did plenty of time with jobs and different careers here in this space. So I worked at Huddle for a few years, loved the experience working here in the city. But I got to a point where I knew I needed to be my own boss.
Mhm.
And so now I look back, and it was so that I could build alignment for the speaking and for the ability to go do other things. But I'm also a real estate agent here in town, and I'm a strength and conditioning coach. So real estate's my money. That's where I'm grabbing it. That's where it's just kind of that day-to-day process of knowing that I got to still go do the 9 to 5 in a sense of having the job, having the income. And then strength and conditioning is partnered with it so that I'm able to pursue the message while someone's paying me to do it. So
Right.
it's not necessarily standing up and speaking in front of 100,000 people, whatever it might be. But if I can get a group of 6, 10-year-olds to hear a message, or you get a group of 10 high school kids to hear something about positivity, and we're coaching them and teaching them how to run better, how to lift weights, how to do these other things, we're building those same messages proactively before these kids get to the experiences that cause the pain and the struggle that we've already talked about we've gone through.
Right.
So if that 10-year-old they've been through some of the worst days of their life already in their brains, they've struggled, their boyfriend, girlfriend dumped them, they didn't get the Christmas presents that they wanted, like these simple things that now we kind of laugh at, those are just as important to those kids and create those same traumas or experiences or things that hurt or they struggle with. So
Right.
if they can learn those resilience skills and the adversity and the understanding that everyone goes through something, when they get to that 18, 19 age and all of a sudden they're off in college, or all of a sudden they're in their 20s and they're married and they're struggling with whatever it might be, those challenges feel smaller. Those hills aren't mountains, they're smaller
Right.
hills to get over.
Right.
But it's because we can build those skills from such an early age with something as simple as sports. And that's where, like, that's for me been the huge bridge when it comes to being at 93.7, understanding, like we talked about tonight, we're not going to talk sports much,
Right.
but we're talking life skills. Those
Right.
life skills come from that teamwork and the resilience that comes from sports a lot of times,
Absolutely.
as well as just the life challenges that kids go through. So it's bridging the gap between those, using real estate to do the same thing, but then understanding that the more people I can talk to, the more that I can spread that message, the stronger a real estate career looks, the stronger that strength and conditioning career looks, because it's building the trust in me and building my brand the same way that you've built Ricky C. Simmons as a brand.
Right.
It's you that is the message. Everything else you do, people trust, and they will keep coming to you for your other services because they know who you are and because you live with your heart on your sleeve every day.
Absolutely. And, I love the fact that we share another thing in common too, is we live by example,
Yes.
or we lead by example, I should
Yes.
say. We, I don't knock what anyone choose to do.
Mhm.
Okay. If I love examples because sometimes they make more sense than me just trying to give advice. But if someone loves to eat,
Mhm.
hey man, I'm not here to tell you not to eat.
Mhm.
I'm just saying, there's probably going to be some consequences if you don't rein it in just a little bit, So my thing I'm trying to say in a nice way is, and you have to look over the fact, I love humor. So I'm always trying to figure out a way to make myself laugh and anyone that's around me. But I want people to understand that this thing called life, it's the one thing that we can't judge how much of it we'll have.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? Time is very, very precious.
Yeah.
I would love to say I'm going to be here a certain length of time,
Yeah.
but I have no guarantees.
Yeah.
So I have to try to live every moment that I'm given, with purpose.
Yes.
And big part of that is decision making.
Mhm.
I mean, my life may look really boring to a lot of people,
Mhm.
but it looks productive to me. And I think that's a big deal with especially our youth. They're so caught up in, he's got this material thing that I would like to have, or she has the new phone that I would like to.
Yeah.
I mean, those things, I know I'm not downplaying that they're important.
Yeah.
I get it, but man, time is the one thing. I mean, I can get a new phone. I can get a new pair of Jordans or whatever they want, that's popular, but I can't go back and get more time.
Completely. No, I learned that the hard way. I told you a little bit that last summer, June of 2025, I lost my dad to a heart attack. He was 61 years old. It was out of the blue relatively. He wasn't by any means in perfect health, but as far as we were aware, everything was running smooth. Things were good. Him and my mom had moved back from Colorado to Columbus, Nebraska, where my mom is from, with the intention to be here in Lincoln within probably the year of 2026 or 27. I made a goal within 25 to start posting positive content and start being a positive creator on social media. So I started with TikTok and Instagram, just posting little minute clips, positive statements. And then I got hit with the hardest challenge of my life so far, losing my dad at 30 years old. And it slapped me in the face when it comes to that time, and understanding very quickly that I thought my dad was moving back to Lincoln. I thought he was going to meet grandkids one day. I thought there were all these different things that were going to happen. And that rug was pulled out from under me like nothing. And so as someone preaching literally positivity at the moment, I reverted into my shell. I didn't want to share. I wasn't feeling positive. Like I was in grief and I was a hard point, but I still had to show up for our athletes and our kids at the gym. And I still had to show up for my real estate clients. And I couldn't walk into those messages or into those meetings or into those workouts with a complete negative mindset. I still had to find something to hold on to. And so it was quick for me to realize, like we said, time is short. I'm not going to waste a single more moment of it.
Right.
And so, I mean, it was almost that day exactly that I just told myself, I'm committing to positivity. I'm committing to my mindset. And I know that I control the messages that come from me and what I share with others. And I understand that no one else can put a rain on my parade anymore.
Right.
And that's the most important thing, is that my dad taught me that when it comes to empathy, understanding, and self-care. He went through struggles with his parents and with his life that he maybe wasn't true to himself in the same way that I had mentioned, people pleasing and skills when it comes to masking and just kind of doing what people wanted to do. And he taught me through his own, I'll say, failures in his opinion, what not to do. And he told me, go be yourself, go be true to yourself. Don't worry about other people. It didn't stick until it almost was when he was gone. And then those messages reside so deep because I'm holding on to every word he said now. I'm understanding more of where those messages came from. But I know that all I have to do is keep being myself. And I have to just be true to me. And the more I released the masking and all that, it's preaching positivity. It's reminding people about their mindset. It's understanding that every day is a blessing to be here. And just like we said, you don't know when it's going to end. So you better go after it today.
You know, I love that mindset because I don't think a lot of people understand it. I think they heard that, but like you say, it took maybe losing your dad, unexpected. It takes something very serious for some of these messages to resonate.
Yes.
And I'm very, very, very aware of that. So a lot of times, one of my things is I distance myself from everybody.
Yeah.
You know, I'll go dark. I mean, and that's not personal. I'm not upset with nobody. That's for Ricky. And when you do stuff like that, sometimes it gives off a signal that, hey, Ricky's not happy with me.
Yep.
Or Ricky's going through a difficult time. No, Ricky is doing what Ricky needs to do so that Ricky can continue doing what I've been doing.
Yes.
And a lot of times that's not something you can explain.
Yeah. And I don't think a lot of people give themselves the credit to be able to sit in that pain or to sit in that moment. And I think that's like, even when someone looks at it as separating yourself or going into solitude from a negative standpoint, it's also just as much you're protecting their peace.
Correct.
You might not be showing up as the person that they expect if you're in that headspace, and if you're feeling super negative, they're going to get a different person when that shows up versus you sitting at home knowing you need to do that work with yourself.
Right.
And being able to recognize that and say, like, I know I'm not myself right now, or I know that I'm going to bring a different vibe to that table for that conversation. Sometimes that's better for them and they don't even recognize it.
You know, I recently lost a really, really close friend. And I don't, you know, I'm not the type that's going to force someone else to understand why that was a big deal to me, but I will remove myself to, like you say, save them too. Because I don't want them wondering, you know, what they did because they didn't do nothing.
Exactly. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But hey, look, we're going to take a quick break and we're going to come back. Don't y'all go anywhere. This 93.7 The Ticket is to get you happy on hour.
John Henry's Plumbing, heating and air,
and electrical.
Graham Tire presents life's greatest adventures.
Okay, take the worm, put it on the hook. Now bring your pole back and throw it forward. And just let the fish come to you.
I got a bite! It's a big one, Dad!
Great road trips start with great service. Graham Tire, your tire store next door, with 5 convenient Lincoln locations, getting you to the places that matter most.
With UBT, you've got total control over your money. Like Doug, who runs his game day tailgate like a well-oiled machine.
I got burgers, brats, chicken, dogs, plus all the fixins'. And with the UBT Go app, I can track my food spending from anywhere.
Pro move.
They don't call me Grill Sergeant for nothing.
No matter your goals, UBT helps you feel good about reaching them. Union Bank and Trust. Member FDIC.
MWR, a local company of Lincoln, is proud to announce they are able to offer their own post-frame building packages in metal to anyone desiring a building, whether you're a contractor or a DIYer. They can install your building as always, and they offer multiple different rib profiles and loads of color options, including the wood grain metal at great competitive prices. You can inquire at mwrbuildingandfence.com or just draw your desired building and submit it in their contact us page and they'll get back to you. Call MWR today at 402-540-8966.
Back Nine Golf in South Lincoln is the premier indoor golf experience in the state. The weather in the winter months is cold, windy, and as unpredictable as a tee shot on the 450-yard par 4. With top-of-the-line full-swing simulators and a PGA teaching professional, Back Nine Golf is there to help you improve your game and lower your score. Back Nine Golf is open to the public with 24/7 access for members. Learn about Back Nine's variety of memberships today and see the facility for yourself at 7501 South 15th Street in Lincoln, just south of 14th and Pine Lake Road. Back Nine Golf, your premier indoor golf and events destination.
Are you ready for a new opportunity? Check out Sandhills Global. Join a dynamic team where your skills are valued and your career can soar. We offer full-time positions with a 4.5-day work week, competitive pay, excellent benefits, and a positive work environment. From IT and marketing to sales and finance, we're looking for talented individuals just like you. Apply today at sandhills.jobs and take the first step towards an exciting future. That's sandhills.jobs. Don't wait, apply now.
Big box stores are tempting for buying equipment for your high schooler in sports or for yourself in your sports leisures. But buying new is awfully expensive. Why not go somewhere with new and used options? Play It Again Sports has quality, slightly to gently used equipment, and 50% of their inventory is actually new equipment. And it's more than baseball, softball, and golf. They also have equipment for disc golf, fitness, hockey, and more. Plus, they're always buying products. Bring your gear you're done with and get trade money on the spot. Play It Again Sports at 48th and Vine.
Back to the Get Your Happy On Hour, featuring former Husker receiver Ricky Simmons.
We're back, man. We're back. Well, I got to check in with my guy, Bach. Because, Bach, he's making us famous here. So, Bach, what's going on over on that board, man?
Yeah, we got a few comments today. GBR Captain saying, Jesus Christ is King. How is everyone doing? Says, this world has everything to destroy your soul. Repent, and Jesus will save it. Also says, walk in the light. Also, from Theola Cooper, good show and stay warm.
Absolutely. I appreciate all the shout-outs, man. That means a lot when you guys take time out of your busy schedules to check out the show and leave comments. That means a lot. So that lets me know that we're reaching people, and that's what's important. I got to get back to my guest, but before I get back to him, I got everybody to know I'm comfortable up under that bus, man. I stay up under there. But you know what? I done found out, man. I found somebody half my age that's comfortable under the bus, too.
Yes,
and that's pretty encouraging. So I don't know how you got comfortable that quick, man, but, I admire you. It took me a little longer than 30 to get under that bus and be okay with it.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm on a serious note, man. I really respect that of you, because a lot of times people in your age group, especially when the things are starting to turn for the better,
mm-hmm.
they're not real quick to remind people that things weren't always good.
Mm-hmm.
And you jumped right off into that right off the bat. So I wanted to give you your props, man, while you were here, and I wanted to give them to you face to face.
Thank you.
How did you get so comfortable with that, man?
It's a loaded question for sure. And I think we'd need hours to really get into the weeds of what all is going on and what you have to go through to kind of figure it out. But I think the word that stuck with me the most is vulnerability.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's one of those things we had already discussed prior, that one of my messages and what I want to do in this world is preach to men specifically, but all adults, what masculinity can and should look like.
Right.
And trying to get away from the sense of holding back and this toughness being this outer shell, and understanding that our real strength as humans and as men specifically comes from the willingness to push each other to see what we've been through and to be vulnerable about those stories. And so for me, it was literally the unmasking myself and being willing to talk about what I'd been through opened up these doors to continue to learn more about what others had been through, find out more from a deeper place, and then to hear those stories without any judgment, without any fear, and understanding how much I can learn from other people. And it came from me being willing to say the things that I was the most scared about. And I found so quickly that those fears and those anxieties of those conversations, as soon as I released them, it was all good. Everything was good on the other side.
Yeah.
And it may have created some waves in the ocean kind of thing. It might have been hard to get through certain moments or created some tough conversations or lost certain people. But I've learned so quickly that maybe those people weren't meant to be there, or those conversations led to greater things. Or once you get through the big waves, it's beautiful on the other side. So it's that case of understanding. Like, I think you're a great example of it. Like I almost just told you, was you don't shy away from any of what you've been through. You understand where you've been, and you understand that you can create something different, and that doesn't create a story that's final. I think that's just what I want everyone to really, really understand and hold on to deeply, is that you get to create this story every day. we wake up every day with energy.
I just thought about something you said. Thank you, first of all, for saying that. But I will say this too. I love the part when you talked about being your own boss.
Yes.
I laugh and make jokes about that all the time because myself, I wasn't very good at working for others either. So
some of us are just meant to kind of do our own thing, right?
I'm not knocking anyone that does. It's just, man, it's like, I don't know. I love my boss. His name is Ricky C. Simmons. And he's really cool. You know what I mean? He's a good dude. He has he gives me a lot of leeway, you know, and I appreciate that.
Oh yeah.
And when I heard you say that about working for yourself, it really made sense to me. I just wished I would have figured it out when you did. So
well, I know you've mentioned before, and I've heard you say it on your show before. We both suffer from the same disease, and we've joked this a couple times now.
Yeah.
And it's high self-esteem.
Absolutely.
Right?
100%. Yeah.
So it's a lot easier to listen to the boss when you know the boss is a pretty cool guy.
You know, and I want people to understand something too. Giving yourself credit is not a bad thing. A lot of people will challenge that, but I don't think that's a bad thing. I mean, that's a personal deal with me, but I think sometimes you have to give yourself credit because unfortunately everybody else is busy living their life. So they don't have the time, or they choose not to, have that desire to give you credit.
Yes. I've said a couple times, I believe fully that I'm the coolest person on this planet. I also believe that you should think you're the coolest person on the planet.
Absolutely.
Jake should think he's the coolest person on the planet.
Absolutely.
Everyone should walk in their own shoes and believe that they're meant to be here for a purpose.
Right.
And that purpose is beautiful. And it's because it is. There's no one more special than the other. We're all here with the same abilities, the same control over our future and those kind of things. We get different resources. We get dropped into different worlds and different scenarios.
Right.
But at the end of the day, we've all got a brain that's got the same capabilities to move forward and do something special if we pursue it. And it all comes from that sense of self and believing in yourself to such a point that it just can't be wrong. And like we had kind of talked about how all of the stories, all of what you go through create that ability to be like, yeah, I've gone through tough times and I can still get up every day and do something productive and I can still move forward. Right. And if you didn't go through those struggles, it's hard to see what could be and what could have been. So now I've been through so much negative and I've seen so much of the dark. I can only see the good. It can only get good from here.
Right.
It can only be good at the end of the tunnel because that's what we're here for, is to just create good with each other and to love each other.
You know, I really, really appreciate you because just your energy is very contagious and is very needed. And the reason why I say that is because I joke a lot about things, but I'm not playing. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And one of the things I joke about is I think the devil got memberships at every gym in America because they just stay working out. He's always looking for an end and looking for a way to tear you down or make you doubt yourself or feel bad. And that's a day-to-day thing. I mean, this devil doesn't get tired.
No.
Never. He's like a marathon runner. He can run all day and lift weights all night. So,
and it takes work to see the good every day. And that's something that I know I am doing every single day, is focusing on the controllables. I know that every day is going to have a different emotion. Excuse me. For example, with grief, I know that there's certain days where I wake up and I just feel real sad that my dad's not here. I don't get to control that. That's going to come to me either way.
Right.
But if I've gotten up and I've made sure I've gotten some sunlight, I'm journaling, I'm following the meditation steps, I'm eating some healthy foods, I'm doing everything that I can to make sure my body is running as well as it can. Then those emotions, those feelings, I can sit in it. I can journal and talk to my dad. I can find a way to still release those feelings. And then the rest of that day, I'm not sitting in that same swamp. So if I can get out of that hole for a little while, even if it's an hour, and that's what we've talked about with our gym and with myself in fitness, is even if I can go put the headphones on, turn the music up and go lift weights for 45 minutes to an hour, release some of that anger, some of that feeling, whatever it might be, I can find that other side of it and continue to tell others good and be good. Or I might go home and I might spend 8 hours on the couch watching TV and eating the popcorn and just doing nothing. And that might be what I need that day.
Right.
And all of a sudden you can get up again with more energy because you got to balance yourself, but still be able to pursue that joy and that passion every day.
You know, that, man, dude, you're on to something. You really are. And I want everybody to understand something. We both had agreed before this show started that we have to work really hard at this. This is not something that we just wake up with. You know, we have to put in the work. And it's not one of those things where you put in the work on Monday and then you're good for the rest of the week. No.
Wouldn't that be great? Yeah.
That's called wishful thinking.
Yeah.
No, this is a day-to-day process, sometimes hour to hour. I mean, you have to work at this thing. If you really want to be positive, if you really want to be uplifting, you got to put some effort into that. And it's not easy. And I want people to understand, just because Jake is a positive guy, Elliot's a positive guy, Ricky's a positive guy, don't think we don't put no effort in that. It doesn't work that way. I mean, I wished it did, but it doesn't.
Well, and oftentimes it's the inverse, where those people that are preaching positivity and those of us that have that passion for the good, they're the ones who've been through the worst, because we see what it's like to try and help someone else proactively not go down that same path.
Right.
We kind of talked about that like one of the things I want to do is talk to the youth and athletes, especially because life after sports can be so challenging for a lot of the youth.
Oh, absolutely.
And you create this story and this image and this persona. And I mean, you're a Husker champion. You know exactly what I'm talking about, where you got to a celebrity status as a teenager. And so it's like going with that. And all of a sudden football ends. Where do you find yourself now? And a lot of times, like, the privilege of winning and doing well, whether it's financial, sports, whatever, creates this image that we don't think we'll have to struggle. And then when those struggles hit, those people don't know what to do.
Right.
And they haven't been through, and thank God they haven't had to be through some of the stuff we've gone through. Like I tell it, it's a blessing to not go through some of those trials. But when you go through those moments and you can still find a reason to get up and keep moving, you have to keep spreading it with others. And we have to continue to show others that it is possible to have peace and to have fun and joy, even when you've been through those dark times.
I think that's the message that everybody needs to really, really listen to. And, you know, the good thing about being positive is it really doesn't cost you anything.
Just your time.
Yeah, it costs you a little time and effort.
Yep.
But financially, it doesn't. You don't have to go use your debit card.
Nope.
You don't have to go to the bank and do a withdrawal.
Nope.
To be positive. It's
Not
just
at all.
it's a matter of making your mind up.
Yep.
And one thing about it, you have to want to do it.
Yes. Yeah. You can't force someone else into that same mindset.
Yeah.
And we can lead by example, like we said. And that's one of the things we discuss as well, is love, for example. Is I'm always going to lead with love. And a message might come off and it's going to come from love, but it might be hard to hear. Right. I've had a couple of people in my life who we've had hard conversations, but those conversations need to be had to challenge that from a love aspect. And that doesn't mean it's going to be easy. It's love's hard, just like we've talked about when it comes to a partner. Loving yourself and being forward and being positive every day is going to continue to take that work. And you're going to have to challenge yourself in that mirror and say, how bad do you really want to do this?
Right.
How bad do you want to be positive? Do you want to continue to be this person? And the answer better be yes.
It better be.
Yes.
I mean, every single day.
Yes.
You know, because see, in my opinion, it's like negativity is always looking for a way in. It doesn't take a day off. It doesn't need a break. It's just sitting there looking for an opportunity. And as long as you don't give it that opportunity, you got an actual chance at being positive. I mean, positive mental attitude is something that I talk about a lot. And a lot of times I do it with self-talk. You know, I really don't have the right to tell someone else how to be. But on the same note, no one has the right to tell me not to be positive.
Absolutely.
And that's where, to me, that's where it all makes sense.
Oh, yeah. Oh, there's people in both of our lives who I'm sure, like, man, just stop being positive for once and just like let that little bit of anger, like complaining, for example. If anyone's complaining, I'll shut it down.
Yeah.
Oh, it's cold outside. Well, you got 2 shoes and you're not going to be barefoot walking. Oh, it's cold. My car sucks. Oh, you got a car to get from A to B. Like, you still got something to do.
Right.
And a lot of times people, when they live in that negative mindset, they see you, it's hard for them to even hear that message.
Right.
Because as soon as you're being positive, it's, well, why is he doing that every time? Why can't he just say, yeah, it is 0 degrees out and cold. Why can't you just complain about it?
Right.
Well, complaining is not going to do me any good.
Well, you know, I've heard this statement, and I've actually used this statement. People say, how you doing? I said, it's all good on my end, young man or young lady, you know, and they say, man, you never complain. I said, well, I tried that. Nobody wouldn't listen.
They don't want to hear it.
They don't want to hear it. So I just feel like that's a waste of time. And we have already touched on the subject of time being precious. So complaining about what isn't happening, I don't see how that's going to make it happen.
Well, and at the end of the day, you got shelter, you're happy, you got people that love you, it is all good.
Exactly.
Even if something's going wrong that day, if you're going through a moment, whatever it is, everything's still all good at the end of the day. So it's not even like, it's not like you're faking it. You're just seeing through some of that stuff that might be putting up a wall.
And sometimes when people don't believe me, I have to smile.
I love it.
And then I have to start, my feet start moving.
Yep.
I got to go a different direction. And that's no disrespect. I just can't make myself be okay with you complaining and wanting to be negative, and I'm going to sit there in the middle and watch that.
Oh, well, energy, I've said it before, energy is contagious.
Yeah.
And you can feel someone's energy when you walk into a space, the same way that you felt mine and I felt yours. Yeah. And when someone else in that space is contrasting with what you're trying to provide and what you're trying to be, which for both of us is that light and that positivity, it shows.
Yeah.
You can feel those people, and you can feel them bring you down or uplift you just based on who the people in your space are. So I agree. The best move is just to keep it moving.
Yeah, I mean, I
do
like
your
I
thing.
said,
Yeah,
I'm not mad. Don't take it like that. I just need 50 feet.
Yes.
You know, the 50 feet rule is in full effect.
Yeah.
You know? You can be mad. Just do it over there, like way over there.
I like that.
I get it.
I'll be stealing that one. Yeah.
No, but I get it though, Ellie. I mean, I understand life is not perfect. I get that. I mean, I've lived long enough to know that. But the thing is, I also know that worrying about things I can't control has not been very productive for me.
100%. Yes.
Yeah. I mean, maybe it's productive for others, but for me.
I haven't met him. I don't know who.
Yeah, I don't know
yet,
either,
so.
but you know, I'm trying to give them the benefit of the doubt. But even if that's their deal, I just need them if our paths are gonna cross, just keep it moving.
Okay, he's still being positive about the negative people. Still got the positivity.
But you want to be negative, you can do it. Just do it over there.
Yep.
I mean, I'm cool with that.
Yep.
I mean, because I have no right to tell no one how to be. But that's a two-way street. No one has the right to tell me how to be either.
Oh, and you control your energy in your space.
Right.
And that's your space to do with what you want. Yeah.
Hey, well, look, we're going to take one more quick break and come back, and we'll wrap the show up. Don't y'all go anywhere. This is 93.7 The Ticket to get you happy on hour.
Winter is just around the corner. Is your vehicle ready? Don't get left out in the cold. At A1 Automotive, we prep your car for whatever winter throws your way here in Nebraska. For battery checks, brake inspections, tires, heaters, whatever your car needs to keep you and your family safe on the road, we've got you covered. A1 Automotive, always honest answers.
In a world where Wi-Fi battles rage and bandwidth is never enough, one family dares to connect it all. Work from home, influence all day, stream all night, and game to win. Deadlines, downloads, and dance-offs, all happening under one roof, flawlessly. Can your internet provider do that? Fiber fuel your household at allofiber.com/all-in.
Mike, I've been thinking our house could really use a makeover. How about new siding?
I've been thinking the same thing. Have you heard of James Hardy?
Yes. Sarah down the street had Roofing Service Company install James Hardy siding on their home, and they love it.
Roofing Service Company does have great reviews.
They took her through the design process and made everything super easy.
Roofing Service Company offers expert design and installation. Couple that with James Hardy's durable products and variety of colors, you and your family will love your exterior remodel. Just visit roofingservicecompany.com. That's roofingservicecompany.com.
Hey there, this is Paul Scheel, owner of High Electric. I want to thank our friends and loyal customers and introduce High Electric to those looking for a new electrician. We've been serving the Lincoln and Omaha area for over 30 years, from design to install, upgrades, and repair. If you are a homeowner or a small business needing some electrical work, call us at 402-466-6606 or check us out at hyelectric.com. We look forward to hearing from you.
Big value and big flavor meet at Wings and Rings thanks to the all-new delicious Duo Combo. This is the one you've been waiting for. Get one half-sized appetizer and 2 entrees with a side for only $19.99. Bring a friend for the best deal in town on any day of the week, during game time, or whenever the heck you want. Their made-to-order wings and chicken sandwiches are waiting for you at their 68th and O and 40th and Old Cheney locations. Stop by Wings and Rings and celebrate every day with the best meal deal in town.
Rick Heyman here from Sartor Heyman Jewelers. I want to personally thank our great customers for voting us once again the best of Lincoln. At the same time, we're celebrating our 120th year in business in the great state of Nebraska. You can count on Sartor Heyman for the very best quality, value, and customer service. When it comes to your jewelry needs, visit us at South Point, Grand Island, and the Outlet in downtown Lincoln. Visit us today at sartorheyman.com, and thank you for your continued trust after all these years.
It's basketball season, and Salt Mine City is your pregame and postgame headquarters in the Haymarket for craft beers and great food. Get ready for the game with their big, fatty 7-ounce hamburger or try a Reuben sandwich served on Blackstone rye bread. And don't forget their beef or chicken nachos with guacamole, sour cream, jalapenos, and more. Wash it down with one of their 12 beers on tap, including the popular Single Axle Light American Lager. Salt Mine City, your basketball headquarters, now open at 2 p.m. Monday through Thursday and 11 a.m. Friday through Sunday at 8th and R.
Sometimes good people make mistakes. When you find yourself in need of an attorney, call Liberty Law Group. The attorneys at Liberty Law Group will defend you in court and protect your freedom to get you the best possible outcome and the justice you deserve. Trust your freedom to Liberty Law Group, the best criminal attorneys in Nebraska and Iowa. Call them today at 877-404-5238. That's 877-404-5238. Or check them out online at libertylawgroup.com.
If one of the things running through your mind as a business owner is the recurring worry of possible cyber attacks, you can let out a sigh of relief. Hamilton Business Technologies has you covered. As the official business IT partner of the Huskers, we offer real-time threat monitoring, advanced security protocols, and more to keep your data safe from harm. We care about the success of Nebraska businesses and communities like yours. Learn how we can help you at hamiltonisbusiness.com.
Back to the Get Your Happy On Hour, featuring former Husker receiver Ricky Simmons.
And we're back. Man, this show has went really fast. Before I forget, I just want to thank my special guest, man. Elliot, thank you for coming in studio, man, and not using the things that we have been discussing all night about. For example, complaining about it's too cold, Ricky. I can't make it. So, man, that means a lot to me that you came in, and just want you to know, man, personally, I'm proud of you.
Thank you.
Because the challenges that you have taken on and that you're taking on, they're very important. And I just want to give you your props in person, because a lot of times we don't give props until after the fact.
Mm-hmm.
So just know that you got a fan.
Well, thank you.
His name is Ricky C. Simmons.
Hey, well, I can tell you it's very much right back at you.
Well, I appreciate
It's been a pleasure
that.
to get to know you and your story as well.
Well, listen, I want to know, you got any shout outs?
Oh, absolutely. I got to give a shout out to Simplicity Real Estate, my broker, 3 Pillars Performance, the gym where I'm working at. We do strength and conditioning training. Most importantly, I want to shout out my mom, Mary Applegate. She was my date last night to the American Heart Association's Heart Gala.
Okay.
My missus was not able to make it. Shout out Danielle. My missus is currently in the CCU up at Children's Hospital working.
Okay.
So she is a night shift nurse and crushing it right now, saving lives herself. So,
oh man,
shout
big
out to
shout
everybody in my life. That's helping me preach
if someone
positivity.
want to get in touch with you, how would they go about that?
Yeah, so you can find me on socials at elliot.app. That's Elliot with 1 L, 1 T, ELIOT.app. Preaching positivity pretty much everywhere you can find me.
Perfect. Well, you know, like I said, man, I really appreciate you taking time out of your schedule, because I know you're a busy person. But I have to ask you before I let you go. I got to ask my final question that I try to ask every guest that I have. When Elliot gets some free time, how does Elliot get his happy on?
Man, you'll find me in the weight room, either in the weight room lifting weights myself or walking my little Yorkie poos, one or the other.
Hey, well, again, thank you, man, for coming in. I'm going to wrap my show up the same way I do every week. Every day you blessed to say it's just another day in paradise. And no matter what, you got to get your happy on.
Yes, sir.
We'll see y'all next Sunday.